Alright, here we are with a bit of a different video. In this video, I want to talk about the next year of games because, last night, the Elden Ring DLC was officially announced. And by the way, the gameplay in this video is just going to be random games that I've been playing this year so far. So, some of them are old games, some of them are new games. But yeah, it's just games that I've been playing this year. It's just going to be a bunch of random games, right? Because I want to talk about... Okay, so it is February 28th, right? Tomorrow, it is going to be March. So, when it turns March, that means the next year of games, from March 2023 to March 2024, is going to be absolutely insane, right? And I don't see anyone talking about this, maybe because it's like a personal preference type of thing. That could be what it is. But, you know what, I feel like it is a personal preference type of thing, because there's a lot of things here, that combine to make what I am thinking is the greatest year of video games in a very long time. Possibly in my entire life. I'm a younging, to be honest. I'm young. I'm about to be 19. So, you know, but I feel like out of all the time that I've been alive, this is the best year for games ever, right? Now, let me explain why. Right? RE4 Remake. We're starting off with RE4 Remake. That will be coming out at the end of March. Then, we're moving on to the expansion to this game, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, right? That is rumored to come out also at the end of March, maybe April, okay? Yes, I got a gem from failing, by the way, I know, that's super lucky. And then, after March, we have April. Now, unless you're a Dead Island fan, there's not much coming out in April, but if you are a Dead Island fan, that's there for you. And then in May, we have not much again, but Suicide Squad. If you're interested in that game, that'll be a game for you. But then, after May, it's just chaos, right? So after May, we have Street Fighter 6. Okay. Like, wow. By the way, I want to say, if you are interested in Suicide Squad comes out 1 week later. Street Fighter 6 comes out, right? And then, I believe it's either 1 or 2 weeks after Street Fighter 6, Final Fantasy 16 comes out. Just wow. This is, I mean, it's a Final Fantasy game, a new one. And there was, speaking of also more news that was released, there was 40 minutes of gameplay released today. I haven't watched it yet, but apparently it's looking like the best Final Fantasy of all time when it comes to the combat. But I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. But that's another thing. It also has, I think they said 35 hours long, the main story, as well as 11 hours of cutscenes. So it's gonna be a top quality game, right? So we have all of this and we're only in June, right? And I should also mention that all the games that come out this year have not been announced yet. So there could be more stuff, maybe some remakes, some re-releases, all this stuff, right. So, now that we're getting into July, there are still games coming out, but they don't have release dates yet, but they are coming out this year, right? So another game for me personally is Transformers Reactivate. Now, I don't know when this is coming out. It is coming out this year. I would expect July to November, somewhere around that. Now, here's the thing about the Transformers games, right? If you don't like the games, that's because you never played them, right? Now, to be fair, you cannot play them anymore. You cannot buy any of the old Transformers games at all, right? However, I will say that even though they are licensed games, right? Transformers are licensed games. They are the best licensed games ever made. You know. So there's Transformers in the PS2, right? Transformers Armada. That game's amazing. Transformers the movie game is okay, right? And Transformers Revenge of the Fallen is okay. But Transformers War for Cybertron is arguably one of the greatest third-person shooters ever made, maybe the greatest, right? And then the sequel to that is even better, Fall of Cybertron, right? And then Rise of the Darkspark is one of the worst games I ever played, but it was the last one, so that's why. It all fell off. But there was also another game that a lot of people don't know existed, and it does exist, and it is one of my favorite games of all time. Transformers Devastation. If you don't know what it is, it's made by the people that made Metal Gear Rising, and it is exactly like Metal Gear Rising, except with Transformers, right? A lot of people don't know it exists, but it exists. One of the best games I ever played. It's just, and it's short, it's like the same length as Metal Gear Rising. It's amazing. It's amazing, right? So Transformers games have always been, like, so hyped to me. And I've bought every single one of them, and I've only ever been disappointed by, actually none of them, because Rise of the Darkspark I bought for like $5 like 4 years after it came out. So I didn't even really play it. 3 or 4 years after it came out. Yeah, I recommend, and if you don't know, the next game that's coming out is very worrying. It is a third-person, free-to-play, Warframe Destiny 2 type of game, right? So, that could be extremely bad, who knows, but it's the first Transformers game since Transformers Devastation, which is like the Metal Gear Rising type of game. And that came out in 2016, so 7 years. After that, we have Spider-Man 2. I mean, Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales are the best Sony games. I don't care what anyone says. I've played every single Sony game. I've played all the God of Wars, both Last of Us games, Uncharted, Horizon. None of those games compare to both Spider-Man games. Even Miles Morales, even though it's Miles Morales, it's such a tiny game compared to those games. I mean, I've never just booted up a Sony game just to walk around and, like, mess around in it. I've only ever done that with Spider-Man. I will say, I will be disappointed if you cannot play as Venom, right? Because here's the way the Spider-Man series has been working. I feel like every game adds one new playable character, right? So, Spider-Man 2018 had Spider-Man. Then Miles Morales had Miles Morales, right? If Spider-Man 2, the most perfect scenario... Jesus. The most perfect thing that can happen for Spider-Man 2 is Spider-Man and Miles Morales both get small gameplay improvements, but they don't get a lot of new things. And instead, there's a third character that they give a lot of new stuff to, and that's Venom. It could be so peak. It could be so peak. And also, by the way, here's some Atomic Heart. I've been playing this. I think the game's okay. It's not amazing, but I enjoy it. Also, what they could do is they could maybe make a reference to Ultimate Spider-Man if you could play as Venom, and you maybe have a Wolverine boss fight or a Wolverine teaser, because they are making the Wolverine game is coming out next year. Just a little theory. Yeah, Spider-Man 2, and then after Spider-Man 2, or maybe before it, because there is no release date for this game. It could be before it, or after it, or at the same time. Mortal Kombat 12. Okay, so then, to end off the year, there's another game. We have Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. I mean, it just doesn't stop. If Remake... See, here's the problem, right? If Final Fantasy 16 is good, and Remake Part 2 are good, what are we gonna do? Well, actually, no, never mind. Because Remake Part 2 comes out so late in the year that it won't be able to qualify for Game of the Year. It'll qualify for the year after, next year's. And then here we are going into early 2024. Tekken 7 should be out somewhere between February to April, but I'm gonna say it comes out early March. Right? I should also clarify, all these games are games that have been announced and confirmed, so there's other games that have not been announced that are still coming out, and E3 hasn't even happened yet. Whew. I mean, just wow. Just wow. If you don't know, it has been leaked very heavily that there is going to be a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake also coming out this year. Wow. And by the way, these are just the games that I'm buying. These aren't even like other games that are coming out. These are just the games that are appealing to me, right? I think Silent Hill comes out this year. Like, this is one of the best years ever. I mean, maybe it's because I just happen to be a fan of fighting games. I happen to be a fan of Transformers, and I happen to be a fan of horror games, and I happen to be a fan of Final Fantasy. You know, not everyone likes all those things, but I like all those things. So, I mean, it's just I have always complained, not like on YouTube, but like to my friends and stuff, I always complain that there hasn't been a good year of gaming since 2018, because 2018 is when Spider-Man, God of War, Red Dead 2, and DragonBallfighterz came out. But I can confidently say that this year is going to top 2018 for me, and it's not even close. Not even close. 2023 is going to suck because I'm probably going to be comparing every other year to 2023 forever, and no game or no year is ever going to live up to this year. And I guarantee this is probably the final year of PS5. Like of course, PS5 is going to last for like 5 more years. But I don't think any year after this year is going to come even close, right? I think from now until the middle of 2024, we're entering the golden age of PS5. But like I said, I don't think, I think after the middle of 2024, we're going to enter a drought again, and we're going to get like 1 to 2 good games a year. Like that's what's been happening. Yeah, and then we're gonna go back to that. So I'm just excited. It's the glory years. So yeah, I made a bit of a random video, but after the Elden Ring announcement last night, which I didn't even mention, that could also come out this year. which it probably will. I was just so excited for this year in general. It just keeps getting better every single day. Literally every single day it just keeps getting better. So yeah, like and subscribe. Let me know how you feel about this year. And I'll have more normal stuff tomorrow. So yeah, peace.